Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we have two videos I'd like to look at, both of which came from libs of TikTok because they get all the best videos. The first is, this is your brain on critical race theory, with an accompanying video coming from TikTok.
Hi there, you must be new to my account. I say white to remind people that white supremacy is everywhere.
And the reason she's making that video is because you're a negative comment and she must hyper-focus on it to elaborate on whiteness. Now, if you want to say it properly, it's not with all that phlegm. No. You say it like Stewie says correctly, Cool Whip. And Will Wheaton, same thing, right? This isn't rocket science. Not overtly complicated, and of course, if you live in a white supremacist country, you must tear down the structures. Just tear them all down. Let's see what you can do when you build on that. A foundation built on scaffolding and stilts.
Because in order for true equality to happen,
we must breed the whiteness out of existence, am I right? Is that the punchline here, folks? Do we perhaps send them off to the gulags? Or do we tear down the structures of power?
White supremacy has to be dismantled.
Would you like laws and legislation to be brought before you so you can then dismantle them? Something which has never happened in politics. All you get is tearing down others instead of elevating everyone else. Novel concept, but often someone gets left behind. Or do we just bleat on about it on TikTok and equally accomplish nothing by using, well, buzzwords? As a mildly tepid and fancy way of trying to make it seem like you have something in your brain that functions. Oh, and yes, I got it right. Do you know why? Because this has been a repetitive argument for several years. Critical race theory has bled its way into everything, and in doing so has proved many of the points by detractors correct, in that it does not seek to accomplish anything close to resembling equality. It is why I am probably going to get a little more exasperated the more I have to say, tear down the structures of power.
And a lot of people are not even aware of their use of whiteness unless someone like me points it out by calling it white.
Ah, the perpetual victim looking for a problem, not a solution. Because your solution is so unattainable that no one can actually unlearn their whiteness. The structure of power is ingrained to their epidermis. Either we skin them, or we breed them out of existence, which totally works, everyone. It totally works.
In your case, you as a white woman telling an Asian woman how to speak on her account is a pretty white privileged mindset.
It's called criticism, and you, by judging another person based on their race, are racist. Additionally, it is not white fragility for someone to point out that a sound effect sounds a bit grim. Sounding like you're about to hock up some phlegm is not a racial privilege. I promise you that. It is unhygienic and quite uncouth. Might I recommend you practice the following: Cool Whip, Will Wheaton, you can insert Shut Up Wesley here as well if you like, and white. It's much easier, less throaty and more breathy.
Because I would have never thought to go to your account and say, hey, your face is really annoying.
And what we have here is an individual who has taken such offense, such self-righteous anger courses through her veins, that she must go to the other person, the detractor's account, and shame them for how they look with a goofy profile picture. Perhaps pick on their follower number next. Small point, it's more commonly known as deflection. The reason you're using deflection is because you don't have a valid argument against your misuse of the word white. If people find it annoying, they find it annoying for their own reason. It is not a good enough reason for you to then shame them for not liking how you say something. I get crap all the time for how I say things. And do you know what I do? I get over it. We are not going to be the same, we're not going to speak the same, and obviously not, I'm English, I'm from the south, you noticed. It is normal, but with you, you seek to antagonize on purpose so you can then use white fragility, which is the next buzzword you'd want to use when someone responds.
You should change your profile photo. I would never say that to you. Like, that would have never crossed my mind. Like, who am I to tell you that? And you should have awareness of your actions. You as a white woman telling me how to speak is tone policing.
If I go buy a mirror and put it in your hands, could you do me a favor and just look in it? because you'll find after repeating that sentence into it, it is applicable to you as well. You are trying to police another person who disagrees with you over one word. You made an entire response video over one word, and then you devolve them down to their race and use your race as a superiority card.
And that's a behavior that's very common among white women.
And there I was thinking, women would unite, stand together against the dreaded scourge of the whiteness. But no, turns out everyone's just as catty as each other, really.
You may have not intended that, but there are many white women who act exactly like you. So that's why I say white.
You realize within this very short video you've actually said and accomplished nothing. You used a few buzzwords to make it seem like you're trying to say something, but you've done the very much business America approach of saying you're doing something but actually accomplishing sod all. It's quite impressive really how one can use mental gymnastics to justify over one word, to use one word in a way you use it, which there's no real problem with, to be honest. But you've decided to dedicate an entire response video to someone to then use your own audience to shame that person, thereby showing just how feeble, fickle, and weak you truly are.
To raise your awareness, because it's so ingrained in you, you may not realize it.
Do you have any idea how patronizing and condescending it is for someone to say, you don't even realize you're racist, allow me to educate you on it? It doesn't endear you to those who are more casual to this discussion.
And maybe next time when you're about to do the very same thing, my annoying white will ring in your ear and stop you.
I hope the tonsils at the back of your mouth collapse down so you have issues swallowing. Was that a bit harsh? Should I perhaps be a bit more polite? No? Good. I'll play the last little bit of something you have valuable to contribute to the discussion before we play the next video.
You're welcome.
Moving on. We now go to a video about not liking the word cis, which apparently to feel that way is based in white supremacy.
Oh boy. White cis women, we need to talk. Take a deep breath.
Wow, women are really taking a pummeling in this video, especially the white straight ones. You guys are really getting it.
And let's talk. Some of you just now reacted to me saying cis.
Probably because many of them were rolling their eyes. Or possibly a level of ignorance, you never know. I'm inclined to believe it's the former, instead of the latter. Mostly because everyone's getting a bit sick and tired of it, and it's mostly because, as is often the case when certain language is used, it doesn't amount to anything other than to shame someone else. It's never used in a positive sense. It is always shoved as a negative, as if being that is inherently negative.
That defensiveness comes from white supremacy culture.
Oh, so that's what WSC stands for. I thought it was Worcestershire sauce. Why the C's there is a mystery to me.
It's okay to be all up in your feelings like that, but it's not okay to use your feelings as an excuse to harm others.
If we take the white supremacy cornhole thing out of it, that acronym earlier that I've already forgotten what it means, that statement on its own can actually be considered correct in a wider sense. But you've also said it's okay for feelings, but they're not okay for feelings. I feel like there's a tautology in here somewhere. You're dealing in absolutes, but you're also kinda not. It's nebulous, yet not. I don't understand.
We need to pause, allow ourselves to feel our feelings, and process through why those were the feelings that we had.
Alert everyone! Ring the bells! We have another patronizing twat! Yay. All of this is sounding remarkably haram.
Then you can address the underlying thought that caused that feeling. Only when we have thoroughly processed our feelings and the underlying thoughts will we be in a position to respond appropriately.
I feel like there's an obvious arcane joke in here somewhere concerning women should be seen and not heard, because you're trying to tell people not to react or be reactive, which I can agree with as a sentiment, but you are delivering it in such a patronizing, such a condescending, such a I'm looking down upon you manner. All it will do on the internet is guarantee you're going to get a more visceral response from people saying, stop trying to tell me what to think. You also in this very short video have not explained where the Worcestershire sauce acronym thing fits into this. You haven't done that at all. I don't get it.
with kindness and thoughtfulness.
Well, we both know you didn't get that in the responses. It is TikTok after all. You fucking idiot.